Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday, also known as Super Bowl week. Monday, we've got a lot of talk about advertisers, commercials during the Super Bowl. So that's kind of tangentially where this idea came from for today's show. But before we get to that, I want to say hello to everybody. Welcome. Make sure you comment. Tell us where you're coming from, where you're watching from. Tell us how you're doing. What's going on with you? But I am here, Jon Finkel, my host. Our Eddy is here as well. How was your weekend, buddy?
It was good, man. It was chilling. It was weird that there was a Pro Bowl, but it was weird that there was no football. But overall, it was a good weekend, man. Good to always good to be on the show with you, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I look forward to it. It's like my Monday doesn't really start until we have lunch break, and then we have eat my lunch, and then we have the show called Lunch Break right at the same time. So today's topic is snack food mascots of all time, and we can compare now to our kids' ones. But before that, tell us who's the show brought to us by? Do we have a product we're talking about? We're sponsoring the show. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Life of Dad, the Life of Dad book. Go get it wherever books are sold. You can pre-order on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, anywhere. Check it out. It's the blood, sweat, and tears that John and I put in here. We hope you guys dig it. We've had a lot of people review it, even have some cool endorsements from Chef Irvine, from Jim Kelly. A lot of cool people. So make sure you pick up the book.
Yeah, go get it. That's it's our bread and butter. We're excited for it. It doesn't come out for a while, but every single pre-order counts. So as you come in watching from England, North Carolina, like Sama here, when you're done with the show, or even in the middle of the show while you're watching it, listening to our witty banter, and you're just getting so entertained, slide on over to Barnes & Noble, open up a tab on Amazon, and go buy the book. So now that the preamble is over, this is a topic that comes up all the time in my house, especially during breakfast. It seems like the breakfast cereals have got on lockdown the cool characters that kids can't get away from. My kids recently, we've always been a big cereal family, but only very, very recently have Rice Krispies been introduced into the house. For whatever reason, I let the kids, we don't eat a lot of sugar cereals, but usually I let them pick out whatever cereal that they want. And I was thinking about it because they were asking about Snap, Crackle, Pop, and did I know about Snap, Crackle, Pop? And they're like kind of legends. They're like an old band that always comes back. They're like the Rolling Stones. They never go out of style. They each have their own instrument that they play. And so that's why I was thinking about it when we were discussing some of our shows. I was like, God, there's so many of these, but Snap, Crackle, and Pop, they still play. They still hold up.
No doubt, yeah. And that's the thing, too. It's not just about cereal. We have, snacks, movies, or pizza. Weigh in. And this is going to – I think also too, your responses are going to show your ages too, and some of them I'm going to be like, "Wait, who's that?" And then the ones I give out, they're like, "Wait, there was a thing back then like that."
So yeah, it's crazy. So I have a top five. Anthony Vitalo, yes, that one of my all-time favorites. The Noid is in my top of my list here. The Noid was. I want to take a minute to talk about the Noid because he ran for probably 2 or 3 years. Yeah, Joe Camel, right? Like, there's no Joe Camel anymore. Nobody has, the cartoons. The Flintstones used to be sponsors for cigarettes, so that died out. But the Noid was cool because he was almost like the opposite of he's like the Roadrunner, like Wile E. Coyote. Like, he was always on a mission to destroy the pizza. So every single commercial, you kind of wait for the new one to come out because he always failed. And Domino's was always putting up, ice things to try to get the Noid to go through. But the idea really was 30 minutes or less, or the Noid is going to get your pizza. And I thought it was a brilliant move by Domino's, I guess, until a bunch of drivers started crashing to try to get it there by 30 minutes or less.
And then after a while, that whole 30 minutes thing just stopped. They're like, yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah. It's funny along with those lines. Yeah, we're going to get your pizza. Just hold on tight. What's I going to say right over here? We got the Kool-Aid Man was my favorite. He was always knocking down the walls. Kelly, he says McDonald's had some of the best mascots. Grimace, Hamburglar, Fry Guys, and the list goes on. And don't forget Mayor McCheese.
Yeah, Ronald, they created – there's almost another level of this, how they do best ensemble cast, in movies or the SAG Awards last night, Black Panther wins that. Yeah, McDonald's created the best – maybe – well – I don't know. My number one is, I think, the best universe of characters for a thing. But McDonald's is up there for sure, with the whole crew that they created and the cartoons and everything like that.
All right. My boy, this is going to be some fun trivia. I always bring this up anytime this cereal brand comes out. All right. So we have Aaron saying, honestly, though, the monster cereal mascots, the Count Chocula, Blueberry, Frankenstein. All right. Can you name the other two? They were from the same flavor of cereal. There was the original one, and then they just kind of transformed into the other one. I'm going to go right to the top of the comments. Can you guys remember that one? Do you know who I'm talking? There was two different ones. One was like the first edition of that flavor, and then the second one was when we were growing up.
So who do we have so far? Blueberry, Count Chocula,
and Frankenberry. Those were the staples.
And there was two more?
Well, there's two, but they were the same. It was for the same flavor. I'm not going to give out the flavor because it's going to give it away.
Really? I don't remember.
When they first came out, it was this, and then when it was our generation, it came out.
I don't know. Those are the three that come to my mind. Was there like another a strawberry?
I've got no, because you had Frankenberry. Here's the thing.
Frankenberry was strawberry. That's right.
So here's the thing. So when we were growing up, it was fruity yummy mummy, make your tummy go yummy. It was yummy mummy, and it was fruit. Before that, the monster cereals had Fruit Brute, or I think it was Fruit Brute, and it was like a werewolf.
Yummy mummy. I kind of vaguely remember the yummy mummy.
And then they brought, and here's the thing. I mean, we're going to probably go into cereal, and I'm sorry we're doing this. This is not the cereal show per se, but I just want to get off. Thank you. Look, they know what's up. Blueberry is all I remember, but it's Yummy Mummy. So Yummy Mummy was like just like tricks, but it's just in monster form, right? Yeah. Then for some reason they put marshmallow. You do not put marshmallows in fruit cereal. You just don't. Here's the thing, like Pac-Man was Kix and marshmallows, one of the best cereals known to man. Then they came out with the Star Wars cereal, very similar to Kix during the Attack of the Clones. I still have I think I still have the Attack of the Clones cereal box. But then when the Last Jedi came out, or no, Force Awakens came out, they came out with the same cereal. I was like, oh, sweet, I get to have the cereal. And it's marshmallows, but it was fruit. It was like a fruit flavor, like trick. I'm like, you don't put marshmallows in fruit. That just does not go well, man.
It's gross. The problem that we had with some of the fruit, like, so you got Lucky Charms, but it's like a Cheerios base. So you got the fruit, the marshmallows mix in there. A couple of other marshmallow series make sense if there's like the marshmallows the same flavor as, as whatever the actual cereal is. But yeah, the fruit. And then fruity, I don't think there's a Fruity Pebbles with marshmallows, although I'm sure they've tried at a certain point. But now
knows what's up. Look at
Kingbird knows Fruit Brute. Yeah, I expected him to come in strong. He always does. Do you know, like, now when you go in the cereal aisle, it's all dessert. I mean, every cereal, you're just like, what is this now? Like chocolate brownie puff surprise. Like, it's all dessert stuff. It's not stuff you'd ever really want to give your kid for breakfast. There's 17 flavors of Chex. There's 15 flavors of Cheerios. Like, it's endless. It's an endless amount of food. So the Cheerios Honeybee was one of my absolute all-time favorites, because we weren't allowed to have a lot of sugar cereals growing up in my house, but we were allowed to have Honey Nut Cheerios. So that little bee was like my entryway drug. Like, I could have honey in my cereal, and he was like super cool when he came out. He was one of my favorite mascots.
Yeah, the I loved the Cheerios bee, and it was Arnold Stang. He recently died, but like he was a voice actor, and his bumblebee, his bee was fantastic, man. I love that, and like that was one cereal where like your parents would agree on that, and even today, like I'll buy Honey Nut Cheerios because it's like it tastes good, but it's still good, decently for you compared to like different other cereals. Robert, let's pour out some iced tea or some, if you're drinking liquor, for Jeffrey from Toys R Us. I heard they're making a comeback, but it's mostly going to be online Toys R Us.
So
I
got to weigh in here on this one. Fun family fact: my dad worked for Toys R Us for like 30 years, and he worked there for my whole childhood, basically. And so in the mascot discussion, actually may have a unique perspective here, because I got to be Jeffrey Giraffe at store openings when I was growing up. So I was all the way through. I was baby
Ladies
G.
and gentlemen, we are in mascot royalty over here. Look at this.
Yeah, I know. Celebrity sighting. As I grew taller, when I was like 8 or 9, I was baby G. And then as I got older, I got to be Jeffrey's wife. And then eventually, as I got 13 years old, I got to actually be Jeffrey Giraffe and hold the kids and hang out there. So for me, when I think about the mascots, the only one I've actually been is Jeffrey, and it was a good experience.
You talking about this one there, Michael?
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. You're gonna find John, like our my boy Patrick here at Life of Dad. When we do the Geek Show, someone will mention something, and I'll go quickly run into my room and bring it back something. So
wait, so you don't have everything in the room in your office there? You have like an ancillary like backup closet of other stuff?
I might have to work on that.
I feel like you have all that stuff, and then you have like a secret compartment which has even more stuff in it.
All right, here's the connection. So I just thought about it. You were a mascot. I remember for a radio bit when I was in radio back in New Jersey, I was the Sussex Skyhawks mascot. I dressed up so they could I was put in people's trunks so you could free the bird to win Leonard Skinner tickets.
Oh, very nice. That's good. You got to be – I think everybody should have some mascot experience because you're totally obviously covered up. And when you're doing all this stuff, like everyone's staring at you. The thing with Jeffrey Giraffe was, especially because he was a giraffe, so the foam area or the screen area, mesh area that you could look out of was Jeffrey's like basically his like shoulder level. And then you had the head 5 feet above you. So all the kids and everybody's looking up talking to you, and you can't talk, obviously, and you're just kind of moving your head around and bending over, and you're not supposed to hold the kids. But being a mascot gives you, I think, unique perspective on this mascot.
No doubt. Our boy Kingbird coming in strong. King Vitamin, yo, let's shred some mouths up. All right, here's the thing. You want to hear a good King Vitamin story? I'm not going to tell you. We're not going to tell you. Go Spice Adams, the second interview on Life of Dad podcast with Spice Adams. It's Anthony Adams used to play for the Bears. We talk about Captain Crunch and King Vitamin. Kingbird, you are seriously never a letdown here on the show. Make sure you check out that podcast because there's a great Captain Crunch versus King Vitamin take right there. So check that out.
Yeah, that's pretty much that episode was about the deepest dive on what's Captain Crunch's name, Horatio Magellan Crunch, that we've ever done on anything, and then going all the way through to King Vitamin. That was good. So Spice Adams is awesome. So yeah, there's a couple people coming in here about like the age difference on stuff. It's not one of my top 5, but man, Chester Cheetah, like I think he in terms of total crossover from like our age all the way to like the younger generation. Like my kids, I mean, all kids are addicted to Cheetos. Like now they have all the puffs. Like the kids absolutely love them, and so the Chester Cheetah has lasted probably the longest in terms of always remaining cool.
Has he gotten creepy though? Like in the new ads, can we all like agree that he's gotten a little creepy?
Yeah. Well, he thinks he's a little cooler than he is. I think.
He's like the dad that's like he's the dad that kind of wears the New Balance like 574 and things like because people are bringing him back like he's cool. While he was in cartoon form, it was great. And then like speaking of like, and then like he'd always be eating the Cheetos and like there's one like a coworker. He's like, "Hey man, just chill out, have some Cheetos." And the boss comes by and's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Hey man, just chill out." And they're all eating Cheetos together. I feel bad for like Lucky Charm because they're always trying to get him, and then Tricks the Rabbit. Like he could never get the. I mean, the cereal's right there, and no one like if we're in a generation of if we're always talking, about like how we should share and all that stuff. All these kids are not sharing with Tricks the Rabbit. Like, why aren't you sharing with this nice little rabbit?
The whole idea is like silly rabbit. Like the whole idea is they just completely and totally mess it up. And Sherry was getting at what I was thinking when you were talking, which is Chester's also has like the greatest tagline catchphrase of all of these guys. Like
it's like the ultimate dad joke, right?
Yeah. Like even like Tony the Tiger, they're great, like whatever. But it ain't easy being cheesy is like the greatest line ever because you're saying it as if you're. Listen, life's tough right now, and it ain't easy being cheesy. And he's covered in Cheetos. It's great. I used it when the kids started eating Cheetos. Like, it ain't easy being cheesy. They didn't know what it was. I went on YouTube or whatever and found like the old one. He is arrogant like that. Yeah, some of these guys that have been around for 40 years, you've probably got like the original writers and things who have come up with them who are like, all right, they've got a little experience under their belts. Let's give them a little ego, a little confidence.
Yeah.
This is huge, huge. Why do they eat each other? I don't understand this.
We're not talking about. Wait, we're not talking about because in the beginning when there was like Snap, Crackle, Pop, when they were still around, there were 3 bakers for Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then the 2 of them left, and then there's 1 guy, and then all of a sudden it went to. I think Kelly's talking about. I think he's talking about the little actual crunch
themselves. The squares are now the characters. Right? Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Dude, the bakers are gone. Now the actual squares are like animated, and all they want to do is eat each other the whole time. Like you couldn't do that with pizza or like at least like the M&M guys, right? The M&M guys, like they get that people want to eat them and like they're terrified of the world coming after them if they have a peanut inside, or like they have the freak out when they're going to get a pretzel inside their body, but they're not like looking at each other like the blue guy and the green guy, like, hey, I'm gonna eat you. Like instead, like there's a line that they don't cross that the Captain Crunch people, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch people have crossed.
Wait, you were talking about the M&Ms, right?
I was saying that the Captain Crunch squares, somehow they decided to eat each other. I'm saying the M&M crew doesn't cannibalize each other. They're collectively afraid of people, but they don't worry about red eating green or yellow,
Hands down, one of their best commercials was the one you see in movie theaters about silencing your cell phones, where you see like the red, he's trying to like clip the bomb or the shuttle wire, so like all the other ones who are trapped are there. Immediately, like, why don't you just clip the rope and you'll be all set and just let the rocket go somewhere, right? But he's going through there, and then like the red one gets annoyed because someone's phone goes off. He's like, forget it. And like you see yellow or green or someone be like, oh, the thing's still beeping.
Yes. No, the M&Ms are they're not on my top 5, but they're long lasting. They're up
there. Oh, that's so awesome. She's like,
so here's a couple we can weigh in on as we go through, kind of like which ones are which ones are snap. Yeah, the Keebler elves. I never really was into the EL fudge and all the ones that they had. Like the idea of little Keeblers living in a tree, making cookies for you. Like that wasn't one that ever got me going. I don't think they were really ever even funny. Yep. Another one, I have that right here. Charlie Tuna is literally selling out the entire ocean of tuna. Like, it's the brilliance of the Chick-fil-A ad is, the cows want to survive, so they're telling you to eat more chicken and not eat cows. Charlie Tuna is like, hey, I'm delicious. All my friends are delicious. Just eat us up. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I don't even understand why they would promote that kind of thing. There's some that are like out of nowhere, right? So like this guy always confused me. The Vlasic pickle stork, like the guy who just crunches the pickles. Like, what meeting was that in? Where they're like, we need something for these pickles. What do you think?
That someone had a Groucho Marx like fandom, right?
Yeah, I think so. And they were just like, let's go with stork. Let's go with stork, and that's stuck. It's held forever. Oh yeah.
When you think of storks, you think about pickles, right?
Yeah. Oh, every time. I think cucumbers. I think of pickles. I think of brine and dill.
A lot of people are missing the Cookie Bandit from Cookie Crisp.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Cookie Crisp guy was a lot of effort there. A lot of effort. He was like the Hamburglar of cereals. Like he was just trying to do what he can to steal.
Right, who would win in a fight? The Cookie Bandit or the Hamburglar?
The Hamburglar had to be first. He had to be first. The best guy ever, actually. The best hamburger. It's not a mascot. It was a cartoon. I won't go, but like, remember Wimpy from Popeye? Like,
yes,
I would gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Like, what a great line he always had.
What is his bill, by the way? How much does he owe people?
So many hamburgers. He never go. He just keeps going to different establishments Wednesday through Monday, just so that he's never there on Tuesday. Like he gets up on Tuesday morning and he's like,
smartphone on his smartphone is like, don't eat lunch on Tuesday.
He gets up Tuesday and he's like, I can't go anywhere. I can't even say my normal phrase. Wednesday, he's like, it's so far away.
Yeah.
I might as well. Hey, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for hamburger today. It's forever ago. There's a couple of.
Yes.
Yeah, the green bean giant had a son. That's right. He kept his wife away. We haven't mentioned a bunch of them that I thought we would get to at this point in time. What's that?
Punchy from Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah, yes, Punchy's on my list of all time.
All right, go do your list, man.
Well, I won't do the 5 yes. We haven't gotten the Pillsbury Doughboy. That little pudgy guy you poked in the belly. He again is made of dough, and he's like, "Don't eat me. All this other dough is way more delicious.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone. In fact, just tickle my belly a little bit, and I'll give you a little hee hee."
Yeah. Plus, you didn't want to eat anything from him because how many people touched his belly?
Gross. Yeah, exactly. They didn't have gloves or anything.
No.
Like, hey, here you go. And
half those people didn't wash his hands, and they keep on touching his belly button.
Yeah, disgusting. I was never into the Pillsbury Doughboy. He lasted a long time. Remember the talking hand from
Hamburger Helper.
Hamburger Helper. That was the weirdest thing, man. They were like, I get giving a Hamburger Helper a helping hand. I see the leap. But then someone was like, let's just give the hand eyes and a mouth, which isn't weird.
That was for the kids. Be like, hey, if the kids say like, Mom, we want Hamburger Helper 1, or Mom or Dad, we want Hamburger Helper 1, it's easy because you just taking beef and then putting the noodles in like whatever powder was in there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of like, I get that they went with it, but the fact that it was like a talking hand doing like a helping hand thing was always very, very weird. So I will go. Here's my we had no one mentioned. Digging Frogs was good. Toucan Sam we haven't mentioned yet.
Right here. Sean Kingbird says dig him, but also too Toucan Sam. I wanted to go like he's like the opposite of Lucky Charms and Trix Rabbit.
Yeah.
Because Toucan Sam is like takes the balls like, hey kids, follow me, and like all of a sudden like he starts flying up in a tree and it's like these kids are on the ground. How are they gonna get your cereal?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden like the little toucans, the little birds, they were his nephews, right?
Yeah. He was like Sammy Davis Jr. He was like a throwback to the 50s. He'd been around, he was cool, like he'd been in the right group, like he had a lot of cocky attitude, Toucan Sam did. So here's ones that we haven't mentioned that are among my top 5. We did Pillsbury Doughboy. Mr. Owl from the old Tootsie Roll. We're old, but the how many licks to like that guy was amazing. Yes, Kelly, there you go. Same time. That guy was my number 5. Absolutely amazing.
He was a mascot that didn't give any, about anything. He's like a kid. He literally takes candy from a kid, not a baby, but a kid, and swipes it, eats it, and says like, what are you going to do?
No mascot has ever had less patience. He's just like 1, 2, crunch, get out of my face. I just ate your lollipop, kid. I'm done. He was amazing. Then we did the Noid, which I was always a fan of it. And then the number 1, which no one has said, which was, for me, I had a T-shirt of these guys. They had a hit song. Can you guess where I'm going?
Wait a minute. I think someone did mention California Raisins.
California Raisins.
All the way back. I think Kelly said, like, what was the deal with the California Raisins? That was because that was the animation was ridiculous, right?
Yeah. They were claymation, then they were animation. They had a whole tour. They had gear. I had their little grapevine, like their little grape action figures on my. Yeah, you must have action figures of them. I had all this stuff.
I have one. Yeah.
They're the only one on this list that. Well, I had the two that I had. Where I actually had their like toys and stuff like that. And then the Noid. I actually had like a Noid button on my cool jean jacket in 7th grade. Like I had a Noid plush toy somewhere. Like. Those are my top 2 that I think about. Yeah, Casey, we did the Kool-Aid guy always smashing through walls. Then they so the whole other category, and Sherry, this is a good one. Like you got Mrs. Buttersworth and Uncle Ben. Like those are actual kind of people morphed into, like the Colonel. I don't know if they count truly as mascots. I didn't list them because they're kind of like, the salt. What was the salt one? The girl walking through the rain, whatever her name was.
Sally the Saltstress.
Sure, Sally the Saltstress. But some of them were just kind of people who just took over, the Quaker Oatmeal Quaker guy. Like, they're just kind of those guys.
Yeah.
So my number 1 was California Raisins. My number 2 was the Noid. The Hawaiian Punch guy was my number 3. Mr. Owl was 4. And Mr. Peanut was my number 5. But nobody said Mr. Peanut. The coolest dude. Monocle. Peanut walking around. He was the man.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, here's the thing. This is another reason why. I mean, there's so many mascots out there, right?
Yeah.
And I think, wait, what did Ranzo say? When you have a product character, you actually encouraging and advertising the consumption of its own self. This is very weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
No doubt. Tony the Tiger, people are saying too. Yeah, I think there's a whole list. I mean, this is probably a part two. We could do a part two of this as well. But I mean, because we already had like over like around 100 comments already. So I mean, like Mr. Peanut's legit. The California Raisins. I mean, because the hit song Claymation was something that was never done before, and it was a healthy snack. So parents were like, "Hey, sure, why not?" Right?
You know what's funny, Kingbird? So I was trying to remember the name of the Kraft mac and cheese guy, and I honestly tried not to Google because I wanted to like think about it. And in my head popped Cheezosaurus Rex, and I was like, it can't have been that. That was stupid. But I think you're right. It was Cheezosaurus Rex, right? It was the big yellow dinosaur thing. So I think I didn't give Kraft enough credit for that.
Yeah, a lot of cool mascots. But for me, I would say we talked about this earlier, and you can tell because of my knowledge of cereal. Honey Nut Cheerios, that B was up there, loved him. And then the monster cereals, man, those were great. And I am that guy who always brings that one, like the coin trick. It's the cereal like fun facts and like quizzes, because like that to me was like, because everyone's like, wait, what? Because you only see the three of them, and like sometimes Blueberry doesn't get that much love depending on.
I don't think I've seen Blueberry in years. It's almost always Captain Crunch and Count Chocolate.
Yes. Oh, look at this. Me and my brothers were raisins for Halloween in 1985.
Yeah, one of them had the saxophone, like the sunglasses, like they were all fleshed out. I think they had a cartoon series in the morning. Like,
oh, they did. They eventually, they got one.
So it's funny because if you think about how it goes sometimes, so the raisins became the mascot, and then they became the show, and then they became all that. But like the reverse of the mascots is when they do like Batman cereal or like a Star Wars cereal, and like those never last for the long run. Like Flintstones obviously has, but very few. Like my kids know, they know Flintstones for vitamins and cereal, and like that was such a smart move. But like very few of the cereals made out of whatever the cartoon is, those cereals themselves become their own little institution. They don't really last too long. I don't really know why that is, but I think the ones that were first, their original mascot, Tony the Tiger, has been around forever. Like, even though they've tried to make Frosted Flakes, they don't even call them. What do they call them now? I mean, I know they call them Frosted, but like
they're still Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, I haven't had those in so long. Oh, so Trisha was the one with the sunglasses. Okay, I like knowing the distinction of which one. I never went out as a California raisin for Halloween though.
Well, now, oh man, you and your family could do an awesome rendition of that.
Throwback. They'd be like, "What is this?" Although my son just started getting into Raisin Bran. Although we'll see.
You could be like, your son could be the sun,
and then me and my wife could each be a scoop.
Yes, and your daughter could be the raisins.
Yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
What? Instead of like raisins, she's a California raisin. So you get to put all of them together. Boom!
Wow,
done.
That's it. I'm done. My Halloween, I'm all set. I don't have to worry about it this year.
All right, cool. Thanks everybody for checking out the show. We love this as always. I also just put, shameless plug, the link so we guys can pre-order the book. Do it. We definitely appreciate it. We put some time and effort into this. A lot of people wondered about Jolly Green Giant, like where, with his kids and what happened to his wife and all this good stuff. But
we also don't even know
again another time.
We'll get into that another time. But on a brief like prologue of Jolly Green Giant, like it's one of the only ones where they throw Jolly in there. So like they don't even explain why he's like so happy-go-lucky. He's just, this is what he is. It's not because he's eating vegetables all the time. We don't know. There's a whole land out there that's got to be amazing that we can explore one day.
This Wednesday, same time, same bad channel. Check us out, 1:00 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. We're going to be talking about the people you see at Super Bowl parties. Obviously, Super Bowl is coming up this weekend, kind of like the holiday parties or people you see at the first day of school we've done. If you haven't, go to Life of Dad and just scroll down to the Life of Dad show, the Life of Dad icon. You can kind of scroll down, see those shows. But there are some people there's a lot of different people and personalities out there when you go to a Super Bowl party, right?
Yeah, I'm ready now. I am in a unique perspective here because my Patriots are always in it. So I always either hang out with only Patriots people or I actually bolt before the actual game starts. Or we went to dinner with a bunch of our friends last night, and like talking about the neighborhood, who's going to have the party. And there's a couple people now who are on my Patriots side who can come over. But at some point, I ghost out and go back to my house because I have no interest in small talk about, pigs in the blanket with ranch or ketchup when the Patriots are playing. Like, I'm out. But all the other years, I am all in on all the cool Super Bowl stuff, and I enjoy it. So this is one of my favorite conversations we can have.
So thank you, Tanya. You are great as well. Great way to end the show. Yeah, we're gonna have fun this Wednesday, so make sure you join us.
Yes,
For John and myself, order the book. Thanks always for joining the show. Check out the Life of Dad podcast. John and I are on it, and we'll see you all on Wednesday. Peace.